good morning, and good night. Thanks again for downloading the Body Snatchers podcast. And when you listen, stream, or download straight to your device, CastBox is your best option. Remember, if you like what you hear today, don't forget to subscribe and comment. So let's get started. Enjoy the show.
All right, guys. Good morning, good night. Thank you for choosing the Body Snatchers podcast. Tino here. I've got a special guest on the show today. Would you like to introduce yourself? I feel like you need to introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Mastar Media. I'm an anime YouTuber. I'm the creator of Anime War. And this gentleman right here said, hey, I want to have you on a podcast. So I checked out their channel. It seems pretty cool. I like to talk about anime, so let's go.
So I'm super excited to have you here because I am a pretty big fan. I've been following you a couple years, and it seems like in the last 18 months to 2 years, you blew the hell up. I don't know. I don't know what the formula was, but I just know that I've been, followed your videos for a long time. And a lot of my guys at work and just mutual friends and fans were like, "Oh, bro, have you checked out this video and that video?" I'm like, "What do you mean? I've been following this guy the whole time."
Yeah, I always find it amusing when people are like, "My little brother loves you." It's so funny. Yeah, I guess my secret formula really was just getting on the Dragon Ball train when it started taking off. Dragon Ball Super was like crazy hype, and I was just genuinely super interested in it. I grew up on Dragon Ball. I've been watching it since I was in like the 4th grade. So, at first I started my channel just to do like comedy, because I used to do stand-up comedy, believe it or not. I always wanted to do animation though, because I love Dragon Ball so much. So one day I just like gave it a try, did Goku vs Saitama. It was like horrible animation, but it did pretty well on YouTube. I got lucky. I got viral. And so pretty much my secret was I was mixing like regular just Dragon Ball videos, like reviews, theory videos and reporting news, like spoilers and stuff. But I was also in the background working on these like big, animated videos. So kind of like doing them together, like the audience, the watch time and everything would like bounce off each other, and pretty much the channel grew a lot because of the algorithm.
Well, for the people who don't know, and there's probably very few people that don't know you compared to us. We've been doing our thing for a minute here, and we got probably 40,000 collectively, but this dude's at like 1.9-ish million.
Oh yeah, I just say 1.9. I just looked at my number today. I was like, oh, I hit 1.9. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I seen that, and I was like, damn, dude. I don't know, but either way, congratulations to you. But I don't want to deviate too much from the subject. But funny story, we're going to talk a little bit about just some things that you may expect to see for season 2 in One Punch Man, which starts, I believe, tomorrow. So this will probably air a day or two after. But either way, we have a lot of information, and he's already got a bunch of videos out, so you guys need to check it out. That a lot of detailed information in a very short amount of time, which was awesome. I asked Jake if he wanted to get on this with me, and he responded yesterday evening and said, yeah, let's do it tomorrow, which is right now. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then like as I'm like excited, I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be a good time. It dawned on me that I had only read up until maybe like 5 or 6 issues at the most, or chapters rather, after season 1. And I was like, oh shit. And I didn't really remember what occurred in the original. So last night I stayed up until about 3 a.m. after you sent that last email, and I read about 85 chapters of One Punch Man, so that nice. I wouldn't be one of those fake fans who was like, yeah, I know what's going on. I watched the YouTube video. Is this like clip notes?
Yeah.
So
dude, we're going to be talking about spoilers in this video. Then I guess we should probably warn people, right?
Yeah, I was going to like put something to scroll across the bottom.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
So, it's going to be a heavy spoiler type information, but we're also not going to get really in depth with everything, just because I feel there's a lot of information to cover. And I just kind of wanted to touch base because it's a really exciting read. A lot of people don't check out manga. I don't know what's wrong with you guys. Like the manga, it's the heart and soul.
It's a video generation, man. It's just like that's why, like, with the exception of Marvel, like most comics are just kind of fading off in the US. Manga is very big over in Japan, and you have a lot of like very loyal followers here who love anime and manga. But for the most part, the majority of like viewers in general just want video, and they want it now. Like, when is the next episode? I get asked that like all the time.
Spoon fed.
Yeah, well, it's you know what it is? It's like the low attention span. It's like if you can't capture someone's attention within like the first like 3 seconds of your video, there's a good chance they're just gonna like click off, And
oh, absolutely.
So people have been like accustomed to this high energy, constant video, like daily upload. And so I think a big majority of like the fandom just doesn't read the manga, which is unfortunate because Yusuke Murata is just god level as an artist. The stuff he does, just every chapter comes out, I'm just like, how is it even physically possible for a human to draw these sorts of things?
It is breathtaking as you're powering through it. You're just like, I don't need this to be animated. Like it's that good.
Yeah, it's nice when you get to like leave some of the imagination. No, it was amazing like how they adopted it. Madhouse Studios adopted it perfectly. In fact, better than perfect for season 1. But that's also because not only is it Madhouse, which is in my opinion the best studio, but they also had like this dream team of animators come together to work on it. So going in season 2, it's like we don't have Madhouse or that dream team of animators anymore. Additionally, they're like super behind. And I think people are going to be so disappointed because One Punch Man season 1, yeah, the story and everything was great, but I think the animation drew in probably the vast majority of people. I mean, I remember when it first started airing and people were like posting clips of Genos fighting Saitama, on Facebook, and I was like, what the hell is this show? This looks amazing, And if they don't have that same level of animation going into season 2, it might lose the magic that brought them there in the first place.
Well, I mean, and we'll see. I agree with that, but I feel very optimistic towards it. And my reasoning is pretty terrible, but all I'm saying is that a lot of anime that's out, people, watch hundreds. Let's take One Piece. 800, 900 episodes, of whatever. And, it took so long to transition through that. We're talking 12 episodes of One Punch Man. So I feel like in time, even if it's not quite as good, people hopefully, will kind of get used to the new animation.
I think, well, here's the difference though. I think people can get over like weak animation as long as it's like weekly upload. Like you look at Black Clover and One Piece, for example, and there's a lot of shows, Fairy Tail, that they have so many episodes, right? And a lot of those episodes are like the animation is really bad. I mean, some of them it's like amazing, but they don't have the capacity or the resources to do like that god tier animation every single episode. Like in Black Clover, it wasn't even until like episode 35, all of a sudden they just popped off. But the thing is, even though there's going to be a lot of naysayers out there, they're like, oh, don't watch it, the animation is crap. The actual silent majority of people are gonna watch it as long as they have something to look forward to every week, and because most people, honestly, they can't tell the difference between good and bad animation. It's just a side effect of it. Dude, I didn't like, I had no idea what went into it. I'm still learning what goes into it. It's like it's crazy. The different, like the millions of levels of skill that go into animation. And so I think that like, if they release this season, I don't know how many episodes it's going to be. I'm guessing it's 12, but if they can release the next season fast enough or just continue it, unending, kind of like Black Clover's doing, people will watch it. People are going to stick around and be hyped.
And I think it's certainly possible if you look and see at, just how many chapters are out and how fast they're pumping them out. I mean, the story, as we're about to go into somewhat, is it's pretty good, man. There's a lot of twists and turns that I didn't see coming, and I could really see them stretching this out for a while if they wanted to.
Yeah, they could definitely stretch it out. My hope is that we get to the Elder Centipede fight with the big fight, not like the first one with Metal Bat, but my hope is that we get that far. But I kind of have a feeling, and based on my One Punch Man season 2 video I did, my feeling is that they're probably going to end it like around the end of the tournament. So we'll have to see. Like, we'll have to see what they do. They might like berserk through it, or they might like really take it slow. I mean, there's really no way to tell. I mean, it seems like from the trailer we got, they only really showed stuff from like the first episode of the season, so we really didn't get any indication
with King and the bird coming down.
And Genos first, that robot G4 or whatever his name was.
Yeah, he got smacked up. It doesn't matter. So like with new characters that are being introduced this season, when I first started watching One Punch Man, getting into the manga and everything, I like Mumen Rider's like my favorite. I don't know why, like just something about him I love. But
he's awesome, man. He's got that heart of gold,
It's just this crash. Like I feel it in here when he throws the bike, and he's a warrior. He's a warrior.
Yeah.
But like Tank Top Tiger, like a lot of characters. Let's talk about Tank Top Tiger. They introduced him, and I didn't really mind him much attention. And the same kind of goes. I think they briefly kind of go with Tank Top Master, but they don't really say much about him, or do much with him, I should say, in the first season. But in this season, like he's all over the place, and I didn't realize until reading the manga that there's like a whole, almost like a college, like a frat house almost of like tank top dudes that are together. Tank top vegetarian, and just there's a whole mess of dudes.
I don't want to say most, a lot of the S class heroes. So this season and the next season, depending on how long they go, is more focused on the S rank heroes than it is Saitama. And the cool thing about what you were talking about is that like a lot of these S rank heroes, they have like all these disciples, right? So I just did a video today on Atomic Samurai. He's got 3 disciples, which are all like of like super high tier A rank. And the only reason they're not S rank apparently is because Sweet Mask is kind of like keeping them down. You had Bang, Silver Fang, like he had the whole dojo of fighters, but they all left after Garo went on a rampage. And then you got Tank Top Master, who's got all these other tank tops beneath them. So a lot of them have disciples. A lot of these like other, A, B, C rank heroes like look up to, whoever the S rank guy is. And it's cool. But this season is really going to focus on the S rank heroes, their personalities, pushing them to their limits. And I think that's what's so cool because like Saitama is just like a win condition, right? Like if he fights everyone, it'd be boring
It
because
would be terrible. Absolutely.
he just one punches everyone. There's no challenge. So you build up these characters for all these S rank heroes. You get the audience like attached to them and you see them fight super difficult battles. And I think that's just like, it's just really awesome. It's just like you have some superheroes you got attached to. You get to see them duke it out with these monsters,
No, I mean, that's absolutely true. And I think, when I used to try to get people, into it, because like, well, why would I want to watch, season 1 if this dude just hits somebody and they die? And then that's kind of when you show them a clip of like Janos, and they're like, oh, what's this about? And I'm like, it's almost like kind of about him and his struggles. And then you've got, say, Tom over here, who's, handling all this other stuff. It's kind of how I look at it. So going into season 2 and it not focusing on Janos, I mean, he's in there, but they've got all these other characters.
There's a lot of Genos. A lot. He has like some major fights. In fact, I think like most of this season will probably be revolving around Genos until we get to like the tournament.
Well, even during the tournament though, because during the tournament they've got Genos going out and he's it's almost like a monster genocide type of situation.
He fights like so many strong monsters, and then until Goketsu comes.
But I won't ruin that for everybody. He's gonna fight a lot of monsters. You knew that was gonna happen, so that you shouldn't feel any type of way about that. One character that I'm really, really excited to see on screen is gonna be Blizzard, the introduction of Blizzard.
Yeah, did you see the special with her? I think it's special 5. They had a little like where she tries to like stop this train that has like a bomb on it from hitting the city. So they've kind of introduced her already a little bit with that One Punch Man special. And I think, did we get some glimpses of her maybe in the first season? I don't remember. But yeah, she's a really cool character. A lot of people really like her. She's thick. She looks good, very curvy. And she's got like a pretty cool personality. And she's going to be exciting to see too. But she's just like she's B rank 1, right?
She's B rank 1, and going on to what you said earlier, the reason that she's B rank 1 is because she's got her little clique, with all her little guys that she's kind of holding down and kind of goes through the B rank and talks to new people coming up. I think she actually it's Saitama. She actually approaches him and it's like, hey, come join my clique if you want to be able to move up, and he pretty much calls her out on it and is like, I mean. And if I say no, then what? You're going to make things really hard for me? Like they put her on blast. So it's interesting how that whole dynamic's going to.
She's got this like really interesting follower called Glasses. He's like really like funny character. It's hard to say too much without like spoiling stuff, but when it gets to the part with Glasses, I think people will like really like his character.
No, he's goofy and easy to love. So. I mean, I'm going to be with it, but more importantly, for the people who don't know, that's Tornado Tatsumaki's younger sister.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're a fan of her, I really want to see the interaction between the two of them, because I know that hopefully we get it in season 2, but I know that there's an interaction where uh, one sister gets in a bit over her head and they end up, coming together and they just kind of have an exchange of words. It feels like it could be really dramatic on screen. And I really want to see how that plays out between the two, because I really love both of those characters. Without saying too
Yeah,
much.
I mean yeah. So pretty much like the story how that goes is Tornado like is really arrogant to everyone, but she kind of looks out for her sister, and Blizzard wishes like maybe hopes one day she could get that strong, but I feel like whenever Blizzard's in trouble, like Tornado shows up usually. She's just like very protective of Blizzard, so yeah, it's
It's
pretty interesting.
it's gonna work out well. I mean, I think overall we'll figure that out. So, I mean, but there's a lot of other characters, that come into play. So, like main antagonists, who's your favorite thus far?
I love Garo and the Monster King, dude. Garo is just such an awesome character. Like to say to describe him like without spoiling stuff, like pretty much he's got like the heart of a hero almost, even though
Yeah.
he's a villain. Like he just like never gives up when you think he's down and out. He just like pulls something out. And it's cool how he just like keeps getting stronger, and he keeps like challenging these people who are like way stronger than him and just overcoming obstacles, and it's like a villain that you end up rooting for. And I just think that like his entire character design is just awesome. It's just perfect.
See, and I
um,
thought I was starting to think I was the only one, because that's exactly how I felt while watching it. So, like, I'm just like, damn, dude, like he's really folding, these S class heroes, but like
yeah.
I hope he makes it out okay. I don't know why, but you do find yourself
So you
rooting.
didn't read the one manga, the web comic?
That's the only one that I haven't touched.
Yeah,
And I've
I mean,
after watching your videos, I feel that I need to. I was like, I'm good, I'm straight. Like I got the main stuff right here, and I'm starting to think otherwise, man. So thanks for that. And I got a whole other thing.
yeah, the webcomic's funny, but it shows the end of this arc, but I don't think there's a Monster King in the webcomic, so it's going to be interesting like why they introduced him, um and how
From
that's
the
going to kind of change the ending, like how it actually ended in the webcomic.
talking about for
Cuz
the
they
Monster Association.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, the Monster King Orochi. Like, I don't think he's in the web comic unless I like missed that part. Because like I pretty much what I did was like I read up to the end of the current manga, and then I like went to the web comic so that it could like keep going, see
Yeah.
like how it finishes. So I don't think the Monster King's in it in the original web comic, but Murata does follow one's web comic pretty closely, actually, like pretty darn close for a lot of the fights and a lot of the scenes and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, man. I mean, it's worth checking it out if you want to see like what happens, but it's major spoiler territory, so I don't know if I want to go into that.
You're right. Nah, I don't want to ruin anything for anyone. Nothing too bad, anyways. So one thing that I want to bring up, because I know we're probably a little bit limited on time here, is I think one of my favorite moments for a lot of the S class, and not even just S class. I mean, it's A rank, it's B rank, um, somewhat in the tournament, but then there's other places that I realized, throughout the manga, they spend a lot of time, all of them individually. Not, I shouldn't say all, but the majority, reflecting on their battle with Sea King. And I just thought that was like really good writing, because they've all got this central antagonist that none of them individually could overcome from season 1. And even though they kind of threw him out there like a random villain in season 1, like he was bad news. He was bad
He
news.
was awesome. Yeah, he was such a cool villain for
And,
sure.
man, and to see them all, being like, I've got to step up, I've got to do more, I've got to be stronger, all because of Sea King. And I just thought that was really cool, because it wasn't like one individual scene. Like they bring it up again and again and again, just random characters that you're not, it's not on your mind at all. They're just like, I got to get stronger because. I thought that
Yeah,
was
they have a lot of flashback, and they have a lot of personal development with these heroes, and that's kind of what I was touching on with the S rank heroes. Is like you get their backstory, you learn about them, their challenges and struggles, and that's the kind of stuff like when anime takes like a step back from fighting all the time and really tells you the story of the characters. Like that's when you start to get like attached to them, and they do an excellent job with that in this story. I mean, that's why I think Murata decided, he's like, I want to adapt one's webcomic, because even though the art is complete trash, like the story is really good. And it's like, it's so much deeper than just a guy who one punches everything. You know, you have like all these other characters who are like real people with like real problems, and he's just kind of like the joke character that's slapped in the middle of them. You know, he's like the win condition. But the story isn't even really about One Punch Man. It's about all the other characters, in my opinion. You know,
I
he's
agree.
just there for comic relief and to beat the, you know, the real baddies when they come along, because nobody else can, I guess.
All right, and that's fair. Now, before we head out, this is probably the last thing we touch base on. Easy one. Which character, hero, let's say hero specifically, are you most excited to see animated this season?
Oh man, Flashy Flash, definitely Flashy Flash.
Really?
So, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. His character looks just beyond awesome, in my opinion. I mean, you've seen all the fights with him, right? When he fights like the octopus
The
monster and the
octopus.
brothers. You
Oh
saw
yeah.
him fight those ninja brothers.
Uh huh.
I thought that shit was so cool, because like I want to see how that's animated, how they're like the camera's flipping around, how he like in an instant like creating these just like spirals of like light trails of speed, you know, that like breaks apart the mountains as they're fighting like this insanely like fast-paced combat with swords. I think it's going to be unbelievable if they animate it
I
right.
feel like it's gonna have like a Bleach type of feel. Is kind of like where I think it's gonna be. Whenever they would
They have to get the
Ichigo.
speed off. Like it has to feel like when Rock Lee like releases the gates, you know, and
Yes,
just like boom.
yes.
Like it has to be like that. Like if they don't animate it like that, it's
It's
gonna fail.
it's gonna be an L.
Yeah. What about you? Who are you excited to see?
What's more exciting than mine? I mean, I gotta maybe because I see that stuff all the time. I think the one thing that I really want to see is Pigman. I want to see Pigman.
He doesn't really have like any major fights yet. He will have one.
He
He
doesn't have
will.
anything super notable with the exception of a specific monster that he eats.
But that's all he does. He just he
I
just
just
like
I just you don't
he just
normally
eats monsters.
you don't see a hero do that. The last time I saw somebody eat somebody was maybe Gluttony from Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, it's interesting, but he actually does eventually get like a kind of challenging battle. It's actually pretty funny, like what kind of monster his opponent is, you know, in terms of his own ability. But he doesn't like. It's not like Dark Shine or Atomic Samurai. Um, who else goes up against the major? Puri Puri Prisoner, Flashy Flash. Oh, Child Emperor has an insane battle that ends kind of stupidly, but the battle itself is just like insane. Like I don't know if you read that chapter, but it's so good. Um, so yeah, I mean all the S rank heroes. It's like I hope they pull it off right, man. Because if they do, like I like love the characters. Just from I've read the manga a bunch of times. So I like love these characters and their personalities and everything. And I just really hope the anime does it justice, you know. But like if fingers crossed, knock on wood. Like if this season fails, I mean, hopefully they'll go back to Madhouse. I don't know. I've heard that there's some drama or something. Who knows, man? But
It's a lot of hearsay, you know, and that's why I didn't even
yeah,
really want to speak on it because I don't really know what's concrete, and I would hate to send somebody off. But I'm really interested to know myself. I was hoping you maybe had the answers, but maybe we can come back to that one of these days.
yeah, we'll see after the season ends. But I mean, I'm going to be covering it, man. I'm going to be reviewing the episodes and talking about the characters and stuff. I've been doing these S rank hero profiles maybe a little bit too early. I probably should have waited till the first episode came out.
Nah, dude,
But
the hype is perfect. It's perfect. Keep doing them because I started watching them and I couldn't stop. So I'm like, wait,
we'll see. I just released the second one, so I was gonna do it like on all 17, but there's first of all there's not enough info. Like the one I did on Atomic Samurai was like I said everything there is to know about him in like 2.5 minutes, you know. So
still kind of
too
worth
short.
it.
Probably should have done all of the heroes like in one video. Because YouTube algorithm, man, you have to do like 10-minute videos, or just like you just don't get views usually.
It butchers you, I know.
It butchers you
know.
big time.
Let me write that down in my little tips and tricks book because we're a bit new to
Yeah.
YouTube ourselves.
Yeah,
So
dude.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for hanging out. We could probably talk about this all day, but we got things to do, and if we keep talking about it, we're tiptoeing around spoilers, and it's really hard because we really just want to talk about it. So, thank you for tuning in. I'm going to put all his links at the bottom. If you don't follow him, you definitely need to. I've been following him for a few years now. Everybody in the podcast team checks him out. He just does amazing work. So
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on. It was fun.
Thanks for coming. So, all right, guys, head over to bodysnatcherspodcast.com, hit the subscribe button, and tune in next week. Take care.